Hello everyone and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's find out what's on the hook today. Well, first of all, grab that crochet project you're working on for Christmas and crochet along with me while we chit chat. This is Wednesday, and as I promised, I wanted to bring you some updates on projects that I'm working on and some things that I've finished and some other ideas. A little note, last night I had my iPhone in my back pocket and I dropped my phone into some water, and you can imagine what that was. And I grabbed it out real quick and dried it off, and this morning it's acting up a little bit, so I hope you can hear me. I'll make sure that you can hear me on this, but if you hear a little static, it could be that extra water just trying to work its way out of the microphone jack. So I hope this works out. So I'm going to continue, and somewhere in the middle of this video I may stop and try to back it up a little bit to make sure that the volume is working correctly. Now, some things that I wanted to talk about today. I'm excited that you're here. I hope you're having a great week. I have, and this is not what I usually do, I am not a happy mail kind of gal. I don't get a lot of happy mail, but once in a while I get some, and I like to give credit to the people who send me things. This was sent by Michelle. She's in Washington, and she said that she heard me say I needed some stitch markers. That was a while back. So she has sent me some beautiful, beautiful stitch markers. I love these, Michelle. Thank you so very much. These are gorgeous. All so different from each other. I really like that. And I will be using those. I've got some others here that were sent to me by Nan's Next Knots. I've got a couple left on the I've already taken this one off and I'm using it. I'm kind of saving them back. I want to make sure that I don't lose them, so I'm saving them on cards. So thank y'all so much for those. Those are beautiful, beautiful stitch markers, Michelle and Nancy. And I have a Christmas card from a viewer named Paula. Thank you so much, Paula. She's in Ohio. And I thank you so much for my very first Christmas card from a viewer. So thank you so very much. That's sweet. And I'll put this with my other Christmas cards that I get from just people that I randomly know. And those will go in my collection. So thank you very much for that. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple other things before I start on my cowls, which is really what this show is about. It's about cowls, and because I've just kind of latched onto that for Christmas presents for the ladies in my life, I just wanted to talk about what I've done and how I did it. So I had the crochets over yesterday for a little get-together at my house, and these are the ladies that are in Chattanooga who I know and the good friends of mine, and we get together and we talk about crochet and knitting, and we have a little food and fun and talk, and then they go home. So it's kind of a fun thing to do, and we do it about once a month. We just get together and talk about our projects, and what we do is show the projects that we have worked on. And one of the ladies in the group named Jo, she absolutely had a ton of finished objects and brought them all. Beautiful scarves that she's giving to her family for Christmas. And they're for men and for women. They're very beautiful, done in some really pretty yarns. And I did write down the name of a couple of them. And I want to buy them and actually use them in a project, maybe a sweater project. But that's for later. That's for after Christmas. But today I want to show you what one of the girls brought me as a hostess gift and for hosting the crochets. Is this gorgeous or what? Now, this is knitted. This is not crocheted. This is a friend of mine who crochets and knits, and she actually dyes yarn. And you've heard me speak of her. Name's Becky. You've heard me speak of her before. And her mom is ill, so she's not able to do a whole lot with her business. But she did make me this beautiful, beautiful cowl out of knitting, and it's obviously my favorite color. So thank you, Becky. It's really, really gorgeous. And I have been wearing it around. It's wool, it's merino, 100% merino, and it's so soft. I really, really like it. So I'm enjoying wearing this today. And I'm going to be taking off cowls and putting on cowls, so my hair will probably get all messed up, but I wanted to show you this first because it's a beautiful, beautiful gift from Becky, and I appreciate it so much, knowing especially how much you have going on right now. So I'm going to say that. Here's a close-up. Isn't that gorgeous? She's trying to teach me how to knit. I'm not sure if it's going to take or not because I'm such a crocheter. But after Christmas, I would like to learn how to knit, and I know I can do it. I just have to put my mind to it and have somebody with me that actually knows how to do it, and maybe they can show me what I'm doing wrong. But thank you, Becky, for that. Very, very nice, beautiful gift. Now, some progress on a sweater that I'm working on. They'll release the pattern pretty soon, like within a week or so. I'm making this out of the City Tweed, and I've shown this to you a couple of times, from Knit Picks, City Tweed, and this is the lemon curd color. It is gorgeous. And I told you I was going to leave it in a bag, and I probably wasn't going to work on it, but then I might work on it. So I reached for it the other day. I had an idea of a sweater that I wanted to work on and offer it to my viewers and subscribers on my Etsy shop, because it's made from a size 4 weight yarn, which I dearly love. I've kind of quit working with 4 weight yarns, but when I saw this and I bought it, it is so soft and so beautiful. I really wanted to work on it. It's got little flakes of dark color in it too, which I thought was a nice touch, and that makes it the tweed, obviously. So I have created a new sweater, and I've not put the sleeves in it yet, but I have done the body of the sweater, and it's going to be kind of a mesh. It's going to have mesh in it, and you'll have to wear a sweater under it, obviously, or a top, which is fine because this is wool, and you won't be probably wearing wool up next to your skin. I won't be. I don't think I can tolerate it. I like it. It's warm, but I'll probably be wearing an underblouse underneath it. So I just wanted to show you that, how beautiful that's working up. It's working up really nicely, and the pattern is not difficult. I'm trying to make this easy for crocheters who are maybe beginner or advanced beginner. I don't even think you'd need to be an advanced beginner if you can follow directions, but a beginner crocheter should be able to do this. It's not going to be difficult, and I have a big plan for the sleeves. I know what I want to do there, and it's not going to be hard, but it's going to be different, and I try to make each one of my patterns different so that they're not boring. And I know some folks don't like the idea that I use a double crochet, half double, and single all the time. I try to mix it up so that you're still using the basic stitches, but in a different format, maybe nothing really difficult where you're going backwards and doing back stitching into other stitches. I think that is more of an intermediate level crocheter, and I may do some things like that in the future, but right now I'm trying to get my Etsy shop up and running, and I want the patterns to be easy enough so that you can be successful with those and so that they'll fit you. That's the whole idea behind my YouTube channel, is promoting patterns, my own and others, that fit and that are easy to make. So that's really where I'm going. And like I said, in the future I may do some more difficult patterns for y'all that are advanced beginners, and you may want to take the next step. I am totally in for that. And maybe after Christmas I'll throw some out there that are a little bit more difficult to make and a little more of a challenge for the beginner crocheter. So that's what I plan to do. I have a lot of plans, and I don't always follow through with every single one, but I do have a lot of ideas that I want to work on. So that sweater is called Cobblestone, and I will be releasing the pattern, in the next week or two. Now, for Christmas, I have gone crazy with cowls. I love cowls because they're easy to make, and they're easy to give because people just put them over their head and they're done. They don't have to wrap a scarf around their neck, learn how to wear a scarf and all that. A cowl is much easier, and you can throw it in your purse and put it on with your coat, and you still have that little bit of extra warmth around your neck, and it's not a big production. I do love scarves, don't get me wrong, But to give as gifts, these are pretty easy. These are cowls that are easy to make. And what I've done is I've made my Silver Mist cowl 4 different times. And each time I made it a little bit longer. They're all different lengths. And so in the cowl pattern, I said 28 inches, which is to me basically the ideal. I have made 4 cowls and they're all different lengths. So the 28-inch cowl is the one that the pattern calls for, 28-inch chain up, and that is this one right here. This is done in a shawl in the ball. I'm almost out. I've used this for several cowls, but this is shawl in the ball, and the colorway is opal. This is a gray and kind of a dark charcoal with sparkles that are colors, different colors of sparkles. So I use that quite a bit. Here it is balled up. You can kind of see the width of it. It's a 4 weight, but it's really not. This is a 3 weight at best, which is the size I call for in the pattern. I really like this size. It's basically, to me, it's the perfect size, and it's got a little bit of edging on it that's feminine. It's just a chained edging, very, very easy. So that's the 28-inch cowl that I made, like that. All right, I also made a 30-inch cowl, and that 30-inch cowl is pretty big. It's pretty big. It comes down farther. If you can see that, it comes down farther. And it's right at my elbow, right here at my elbow. So it comes down farther. And if you have a tall person that you're making a cowl for, this would be a better size. It's 30 inches. You chain up 30 inches and follow the pattern just as it says. So that is a 30-inch cowl. So I've got a 28 and a 30, these. And this one is also made with the opal color shawl in a ball. And I used a hand-dyed yarn with this, just a gray that I found in my stash. Just using it up. All right, and then I made a 26-inch cowl, which is the one that I made for me. This is, I think I'm just going to give it to myself for Christmas. This is green, and it was done in 2 different yarns, but not the shawl and a ball. I didn't use that for this one. This was an experiment. And I think I used 2 hand-dyed yarns that I'd gotten at a festival somewhere. So this is my 26-inch cowl, and it's not quite as long as the 28. And that's a nice size. 28 is really the one I like the best. And when I was measuring this, I just didn't measure it twice. I measured it once. I thought it was 28 inches. And then when I went back, I found out that it was actually 26 inches. So go figure. It's still okay for me. And then I had some purple yarn that I really, really love. This purple yarn is some hand-dyed yarn that Becky dyed for me. And I mixed it with this shawl in the ball, silver shawl in the ball. It's an opal color, obviously. And I did that. And I knew that I didn't have very much shawl in the ball left. And I didn't want to run out and play yarn chicken. So I made this one 24 inches. Okay, so this is a 24-inch cowl. See how much shorter this is? This is a 24-inch. And all you do is measure out on measuring tape 24 inches on your chain, and then you crochet back and forth, and then you sew the short ends together. I don't like doing them in the round. I mean, they're okay, but this particular pattern is done flat. I'm back. This video is a little bit chopped up. I had to take some of my video out because there was so much static, and you'll probably notice a little bit before this particular section of my video, and then I recorded the end of it earlier, but I think I've got it figured out, and hopefully this will be nice and smooth and it won't have static in it. And I apologize. I hope that I can get that fixed, and if I can't, then I'll have to probably have a new phone for Christmas, which I really don't want. I'd really rather keep the one I've got. But there again, things get old, and when you drop them in water, that doesn't help either. I finished talking about my short cowl, and that's in the can. Another thing I want to do in the next day or two, maybe 3, is to make this cowl that came in the Knit Crate box. This is from the Inspirations book that they send out every month with their subscription. This is November of 2019. Beautiful cowl on the front, made in crochet, which I was really excited about, and that's one reason that I'm going to make it up. I really like the look of the yarn. I have caked it up. It's soft and it's very wonderful, beautiful color. It's almost like a pinky brown, kind of a really light brown, but it's got a pink tint to it. And in my eyes, I don't know, I might not be seeing the right thing, but that is a pretty brown, just a real pretty basic brown. And that I have two cakes. It's pretty good size. It's, you know, it looks like it's pretty big. So, and it comes way over on her shoulder. So I'm guessing it's a pretty big cowl going that way. So I thought I would make this up and see how it looks. Just make it right by the pattern. Now I'm not thinking I'm going to make it with an H hook for 2 reasons. My H hook is missing. I don't know where it is, and I really don't know where it is. I'd have to go through all of my projects, and it's just tucked away somewhere, which happens, and I probably need to get an extra H. I've got 2 J's, and I now have found both J's in there everywhere all the time. So I don't know what that's about. But the I hook I found, and it looks like a pretty good size for this particular yarn. One size larger than the H, and that's kind of my style. I like a little bit bigger hook. So that's what I have in mind to do with that. And hopefully in the next day or 2 I can get that started or get it finished even. And I'll let you see it when I'm done with it. That's my Knit Crate cowl. Alright, so what I wanted to talk about last was a new cowl pattern that I've come out with. And I made it from Hygge yarn, which is this yarn right here. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. And it's a red heart yarn. Let me get the yarn band. And here it is. It's a red heart Hygge, H-Y-G-G-E, which is pronounced Hygge. Actually, that's a European term that means comfort and things that are really, really soft, or cozy fireplace, anything like that. That's kind of a Hygge over there. And so Red Heart has taken that and named their yarn a Hygge yarn, and it's very, very soft. It's very similar to the latte cake. It has the same type of halo, but it's not quite as thick or stiff as the latte yarn. But it's very, very soft, very, very similar to that. And I'm mixing it with the Mohair Pastel from Ice Yarns. Really love this. I have 2 or 3 more skeins left of it. I'll probably be using it again. But I use those together. Let me see if I can show them together. I use those together to make this new cowl. And if you don't remember, this particular yarn I used to make the curly cowl, one of my patterns out there. This is a curly cowl, and it's made from 2 strands of the Mohair Pastel. Really beautiful. It turned out so nice. I love this yarn. I love this yarn, and made up in my curly cows. Really turned out pretty. And this was made in honor of cancer survivors and people who are suffering from cancer, ongoing treatments, things like that. And it's the same yarn that Creative Grandma used to make her Hugs and Kisses shawl. And I saw that and I was so inspired. I bought the yarn from Ice and I made the curly cowl out of it. I really like it. I really do. And so I've been using it in this new cowl that I'm making. And I wanted to show it to you. It's a combination of the Hygge yarn and the pink mohair. And I'll just show you what it looks like up close. See, the pink yarn is all mixed in, the mohair yarn. This is, the base of the cowl is done in several stitches. I've used griddle stitches, half doubles, doubles, mesh stitch, all that in here. And you can actually use the pattern to practice your stitches. It's very, very simple. It's just one strip, and it's not done in the round. It's done in a strip and then seamed at the short edges. And then on the sides of the cowl, I put a very feminine edging on it. And what I did was I used 2 strands of the mohair pastel, and I did a little bit of a kind of a modified shell stitch around the edge. So that's what I did on mine. You could certainly use a different color. You could use a different yarn, a number 2 yarn, 2 strands together. You could use a size 4 by itself. There are all kinds of ways that you could edge this, but I liked the mohair and I liked the feminine look of it. I just like things that are feminine. If you don't prefer that, you can make the cowl without the edging at all, or you can change the edging to a different stitch using a different yarn. You can use the same yarn and do a modified edging on it. It's fairly easy to do. But this is called Whimsy, and I'm putting this out on my Etsy shop today, and you can go out and take a look at it. I will send an email with a discount to get this for very, very little. It's just almost nothing, but it does help me just a little bit when I can sell my patterns. I really appreciate y'all going out and buying my patterns. I really, really do. That's one way I can keep from having to have those video ads on my channel. I don't like those. I don't like putting people through having to listen to them or click through them and all that. And I know some people need those, and that is totally fine, and I could probably use them too. But I prefer to make my little bit of money on Etsy. So I'm putting this out there this afternoon. I'll send an email to you with a special discount, and if you want to go out there and buy it, that would be awesome. And like I said, there are several ways you can make this. You don't have to make it just like this, but I really like the feel of it. And I made it in these stitches because it's warmer. The stitches are closer together. And I did a little bit of mesh in the middle just as an interest design element. But the sides are very thick, and it's a warm cowl. It's very, very warm. I'm going to put this on and let you see how it looks. This is what it looks like on. You can make it as long as you want. Chain up, do a row or 2, and then put it around your neck and see how long it is. It should be this long. However long you want it, it will be this long. All right? So that's how you kind of tell how long you want it. But I like the way it lays down. The Hooga yarn is thick and soft, so it's pliable, but it's also very sturdy. It's very, very nice. And Red Heart has hit it out of the park with this one. I really like it. It's the first time I've really used it. I bought it a while back, and I think I even showed it to y'all on video, but I haven't done anything with it. But because I like the feel of it, I decided to make a cowl and then put the feminine edging around the edge. I just think that's really pretty. If you're going to, wear a nice coat, there's nothing wrong with having a feminine edge on your cowl. It makes it look more special, and it makes you feel more special when you have something pretty on. So this is my new pattern. It's called Whimsy. It'll be out on Etsy today, and if you feel like it, you can go take a look at it. So I'm going to sign off this part of the video because this part of the video had huge static. I had to cut it out of the video. And so now I'm going to continue with the rest of my video. It's mostly a sign off. And I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully my phone will be all dried out and there won't be any static on it. So here's the rest of my video. So I hope you've enjoyed this work in progress report on what I'm doing this week. I'm not doing a vlogmas. I think that's what you call it. I've only been doing YouTube since March or April, and I didn't know there was any such thing as a vlogmas. I did see Vlogtober, and that is where YouTubers try to go out every day and do a short video for their viewers and subscribers. I am not prepared to do that for Christmas. I have a lot of things going on, but I don't believe I'll be recording every day. I just have too much happening this month. And if I had known a little bit earlier how to do this, I might have done it. But I know you add pretty music and views of Christmas trees and outdoor beauty, the leaves turning, the snow, all that is a great, great idea. And if I thought about it a little bit longer, I might have been able to do that, but I did not. So I won't be doing Vlogmas, but I will be coming on Mondays and Fridays, and possibly have to change those days just a little bit because of my schedule. But I do plan to do that. And then in January, we're going to hit it hard. I've got some great ideas for January too, so I hope you'll stay tuned and keep following On the Hook. Be sure you subscribe and press the little bell so that you'll know when I release a video. So I hope you're having a wonderful week. I will be back tomorrow when we select the gift recipients for the 2 patterns, and we're going to open the crochet surprise. And we will also select a winner tomorrow, so it'll be a big day. I hope you'll join me then. So join me next time, and we'll find out what's on the hook.